My name is Matthew Coates. I've lived in Kosovo for a year and 6 months now, I believe. And I want to tell you 3 stories about holidays which I have enjoyed in this country over the course of my service so far. Now, number one would be the Slava I went to this summer. I didn't just go to the Slava. I actually prepared and then celebrated the Slava over the course of a week. What I did is I've got this friend who is a monk in the monastery, yeah, or one of the brothers anyway. My friend, he told me, Milos, he said, Matthew, there's going to be a volunteer camp here this summer for a week. And what you do is you come here, you stay at the monastery or in Stari Draganac, which is sort of like a little abandoned village, just a 15-minute walk away from the monastery in the forest. You live there, and then you help us prepare for a Slava. And if you're interested, you can join the volunteers in helping us do this summer. It's an international group of volunteers from all over Europe and Turkey as well. If you're interested, you can come along. So I said, well, I don't work during the summer. I don't do my usual work during the summer because obviously the school year is over. And I love being here anyway, and I want to get closer to you guys. So yeah, let's do this. I'll join you. Summertime came, and I met up with some Czech guys here in the city, and we went up to the monastery where we met a bunch of other nationals, and we began our experience. We essentially camped in this old town during the night, and then during the day we would go to the monastery and we would help them prepare for the Slava by doing such things as cleaning off their holy objects. That was one of my favorite parts because I got to really see these religiously significant artifacts up close and personal. I was cleaning the wax off of old candlesticks, and then also doing things like dusting around the place. I got to help them make incense for the Slava, which was also amazing because incense smells amazing, of course, and then on top of that, I've always kind of been curious, how do monks do this? How do monasteries get this stuff? Where does it come from? So I got to see them make it. It was really nice. The people I worked with were great. There were Albanian, Kosovar Albanian. There was one Kosovar Albanian, 2 Serbian people from Serbia, Central Serbia, and there was a woman from Turkey, 2 guys from Czech Republic, some people from France, some people from Croatia, all over the place, really. Yeah. We got along great. Got along with the monks really well. A lot of the monks will speak English, so that helped. I know a little bit of Serbian, and I got to practice it and work on it with the monks who didn't speak English. Working in the monastery was so much fun because they're such a relaxed, great group of people. We'd work for an hour and then take a rakia break, and that would make the next hour's work even more fun. And we'd take another rakia break, and the next hour even more fun, etc., etc. Their food was incredible. Serbian food is amazing. Plus, the monks are great cooks. There's a woman who comes in, or I think specifically this woman who comes in from a nearby village who cooks with them. She's just a friend of the monastery. She's a really good cook. And she's like a babushka type, She's really friendly, really grandmotherly with me, and yeah, she's a really nice woman. Finally, the day came for the Slava. There were guests from all over Kosovo, from representing any kind of organization or community you could think of. Really quite an international, multi-ethnic group we had for the Slava itself, for the day of the party. Now, a Serbian Slava, it's celebrating. Originally it's got pagan origins. Its earliest manifestation was to celebrate the protector god of a home. When Christianity came along, they made it about the patron saint of a home. So now it's to celebrate, in this case, the patron saint of the monastery. What happens is guests come over, there's a ritual, and seeing as this is a monastery, that ritual consisted of, well, obviously there was a liturgy in the morning, but then a very elaborate religious ceremony at night. And then after that, we all got together, had a huge feast with homemade food or monastery-made food, as well as food that the locals had made. And we danced, we talked. They had nuns from Gračnica come in and sing us beautiful Serbian folk songs. We did circle dance, in circles, and I got to talk to all kinds of interesting people. What else? Yeah, it was a really moving experience having everyone come together like that. I could also talk about, as I said, this specific Slava was in a monastery, so that'll come with a like the equivalent of a Roman Catholics would call it a mass, I suppose. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Right, and in a Serbian Orthodox monastery, the mass is something which is quite a notable part of life, and it's truly a beautiful, sensual, moving experience. There's candlelight. There's these otherworldly images all around you, the icons of the saints. There's chanting from the monks or nuns. This beautiful ancient rhythmic chanting, and there's of course the priest who's fulfilling his end of the ritual. He himself is chanting and blessing the crowd. There's incense, which in this case was made by the monks, being swung around in canters, making the whole place smell divine. Yeah, that was all part of the process.
Sounds amazing.
It was a truly unforgettable experience. This is the story of my first Christmas in Kosovo. Now, Kosovo is a predominantly Muslim country, and they celebrate New Year's, and it's kind of the Muslims in this country really like New Year's, and they do a lot for New Year's, but it's obviously not Christmas, and it's celebrated in a very different way from how we in America and the Western world in general celebrate Christmas. Christmas time came in my first year of service, and I was starting to feel very nostalgic for home, very nostalgic for my family and the time we had together, of course, every year for Christmas, all of our rituals and traditions. And I thought to myself, well, Christmas break, here Christmas break is a one day, we get one day off for Christmas, and we can't really travel for that day because it's only one day, and I've got school after that day for the rest of the week. And then we get our winter break, but I can't go anywhere for this Christmas. I've got to be here in this predominantly Muslim country for Christmas. And I did thought to myself, okay, I'm not going to really be able to do anything. It's just going to be me and alone in my room. I was wrong. Thankfully, a good friend of mine, Michela, she's from a Catholic side, right? And she came to me during in-service training, and she knows I like traveling around the country as much as I can, and that I was feeling kind of lonely for the Christmas season. And she said to me, Matt, my family, my host family, they said that if I want to invite any other volunteers over for Christmas, then I could. So I know you're not doing anything. I know you're going to be around. And if you're interested, you can join us. I said, yeah, absolutely. I would love to join you and your family for Christmas. And I said, great. All right, Va's going to come too. So the two of you can come to my site Christmas Eve, whenever you can make it. And we're going to have a little party together with the host family. So Va and I showed up. And Michela's mother is very warm. She came to us, she brought us drinks, she invited us down into her dining room, and down there she prepared this immaculate feast. There was roast beef, There were fish, really nice grilled fish. There was a really good bread. It's big Albanian bread, um, as well as the usual roasted vegetable pita nakunga, which is kind of like a, how do you describe pita? It's like layers of phylodome, yeah, with pumpkin in the middle, but it was sweetened pumpkin. I think it was a very it was a nice sweet. Or maybe it wasn't, or maybe it was just a really sweet pumpkin. Either way, delicious pita with pumpkin. That complemented the meal nicely. On top of that, they brought out their homemade wine, and her host father brought out his homemade rakia. My stories involve rakia too often, but it's a prominent aspect of serving in Kosovo, so I'm just going to tell you about it.
It is prominent here in Kosovo. Rakia goes with everything for the most part.
Yeah, right. It's very popular, and it was really good. Her host father makes really good rakia. It was not as strong as most rakias. It was like this. It was a wild berry rakia.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh, it's incredible. You've got to try it.
Good.
It's so good. I think they sweeten it with honey too. So it's incredible. Yeah, it was so good. He brought it out for the holiday, and whenever I see him now, he always comes out with this bottle of rakia. He puts it down. Because Michelle doesn't like it because she gets too much of it, but I only get it whenever I visit them. So obviously, it's our little ritual, you know. He brings out the rakia. We talk, we hang out, we laugh, and eventually they say, "Oh, we have to do something. We have to do something." What? And they say something in Albanian, and I've only been in the country at this point since June, I think. Yeah, about June, late May. So my Albanian wasn't fantastic, and I didn't like. What are you doing? What are you doing? We have to do something. All the men have to get out of the house, and we got to do something outside, and the women are going to stay in here and do something in here. So okay, you know, Va and Michelle stay inside, and then I go out with these Albanian men, and outside they've prepared. It was a cross made out of branches, but boughs. It was, yeah, and we marched into the house with this cross, and then I was holding the cross. I think that's how it was going. And then someone had a candle too, and we walked in there, and we said to each other, "Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas," and that was. We sat down and said some few words I didn't actually understand because it was in Albanian. Sat down, and then we, for a little bit, and just like, happy Christmas. Afterwards, we went outside, and outside they had made in their garage a little fire. They had some kindling, and they made a little fire, and then we all got in a circle, and we started to run around this fire, jumping over it, of course, as we came to it, in the circle. We did that 3 times, I think. And this is a traditional native Albanian Christmas tradition. I don't fully understand the significance of it, but I believe it was to bring about good fortune for the upcoming year.
Yeah, and was it just the men running around the circle?
No, at this point it was everybody.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was the whole house running around the circle, dancing over it, jumping over it. It was quirky and unique, but it was something I'd never seen before because I live with an Albanian Muslim family. But I can only imagine this is a uniquely Albanian tradition because I've been in other countries and I've been to America, of course, and I've never seen something like this before. So it was special, and generally it was a special. It was an unforgettable Christmas for me. It was a very special Christmas because I thought I had nothing. I thought I was going to have nothing. And I was so afraid that I was going to have this really sad Christmas alone in my room, I don't know, watching Netflix or something. But instead, I went to this unique manifestation of the holiday, which I'd never seen before, which had a lot of the attributes I remembered from home, a lot of the most important attributes like family and community, as well and good food, as well as some unique parts of the night, which I'd never seen before, which made it very much an Albanian Christmas, not just any Christmas, but an Albanian Christmas, a Kosovar Christmas, I should say. Yeah, I feel like I got the best of both worlds that night. I got to have what I was missing from home, as well as what I came here to experience, a new culture, by which I mean a new culture. Afterwards, we went to an Albanian Catholic Mass, which was nice. It was elaborate, it was beautiful. And then after that, we went back home. We watched a Christmas movie. We had some cake and some tea, and then we went to bed. And the next day, we got up, and Michaela, Val, and I made Christmas cookies for everyone. We had a really nice breakfast, and I went back home. So, this next holiday story is about Bajram. This one is with my own host family. Now, I was interested in seeing Islam in person, and or seeing some parts of Islam anyway, in person, when I came here. And my host father, he knew that, so he said to me long ago, when we have Bajram, because he doesn't go to the mosque every Friday or every day for that matter, he only goes for Bajram. So he says, when we have Bajram, I'm going to take you to the mosque. Great. Bajram came, and sure enough, he said, oh Matthew, tomorrow I'm going to go to the mosque, and if you would like, you can come with me. But we're going to wake up very, very early to go. And so, well, yeah, totally worth it. Absolutely, I'll go with you to the mosque. You know, we're going to make this a good Bajram, you know. Set my alarm to, I think I just set it. We were going to go at 5. I think it was 5. Yeah, it was 5. So really, I set my alarm to like 4:30 or something, you know. And 4:30 in the morning, it goes off. I wake up all groggy-headed. Well, what's going on, you know? And I take my shower. And it's 4:30 in the morning. Of course, this is earlier on in the year, so the sun was well and thoroughly down. It was pitch black. I shower. I put on some nice clothes, and I get downstairs. And he says, "Well, we need to clean ourselves before we go to the mosque." I'm thinking, I just cleaned myself. He says, "No, I'll show you how to clean yourself." And he says, "Watch me, and then you follow suit, right?" I say, "Okay." And what he does is he goes into the bathroom, to the sink, yeah. And first he washes his face, make sure to clean his eyes. Washes the ears out of it first. Washes his mouth out, and then cleans out his nose as well. Then he washes his hands, his arms, his feet, a bit of his legs, you know. Finally says, "Okay, good, we're clean, we're ready to go." I do the same thing. The whole ritual, clean myself. We go outside, and outside, when the neighbors are around too, one of the neighbors' children, who speaks English very, very well, he says, "I'm going to come with you, so I can, I'm going to be with you so I can help translate things for you, and translate what the imam says, the hoja we call it here, says during the service." We go down there, and there are so many people at this mosque. The mosque is just at the bottom of a hill. So many people from all over the place. People who I've seen before and who are very surprised to see me there, because of course they know I'm not Muslim, but hello, welcome to our mosque, and they're happy to share their tradition with me, happy to share their mosque with me. We sit down. It's not such a long service, and the Hoja is talking about stuff, how to live your life, talking about religious matters. The whole mosque is full of people. Everyone kneeling, not sitting cross-legged or kneeling down on the carpets of the floor. Afterwards, my host takes me to the Hoja, the Imam, and he introduces us. I thank him for the lovely service. He asks me where I'm from, that kind of thing. And then afterwards, we go back up to the house. And at the house, my host mother, I knew already that she'd spend days and days and days before this preparing baklava, lots and lots of baklava. Baklava is phyllo dough. In this case, in this country, baklava is phyllo dough, oftentimes with like walnuts or something, some kind of dry, crumbly something in the middle.
Yeah, it's walnuts usually.
Walnuts usually, or sometimes crumbled cookie as well in the middle.
Yeah, I've seen.
Yeah, and then sugar syrup poured in the middle as well as over top of it, and pretty much just involved in the entire process of preparing it.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very sweet food. You know? As well as she's also made cake, and she's put out soft drinks and Coke and that kind of thing, or RC Cola, which they drink so much here. Yeah, she's got this all set up. Not long after we've returned, their family starts showing up. A bunch of guests. They come and we all eat baklava together and chat. Not just family, but also friends and work partners and people he's known from his work all come and visit the house. And we eat so much baklava, yeah, and so much cake. And every time someone new comes over, well, more baklava. No, have some more baklava. Finally, everyone's gone, and I go up to my room for a little bit and rest. And they say, "Hey, we're gonna go to this other village close to this city, and we are going to visit your host father's family, Fadil's family." So we go to this village. We go to this village, and and what we do there is we visit each family, each atomic family, family unit that is related to Fadil, my host father. So, for example, his brother and his family, we go to his house, and then we go to his other brother and his family, and visit their house. Or his father, we go visit his father, and we visit a bunch of his family. And at each house, we eat even more baklava and even more cake, and are even offered even more fruit juice and soda. At the end, we'd spent the whole afternoon, and for each family, we only visit them for maybe a half an hour at the very most. At the end, we spent the whole afternoon in the village, and we go back home, and and that is the day. Part of Little Bajram is the sacrifice of the ram. This is something they do in Kosovo. The Muslims, they really do. They will literally kill a ram, and then they will either eat some of it or give the meat to the poor. Yeah? And of course, you ask, where do you get these rams? Well, there are Bajram markets, sort of like our Christmas markets back in the West, for these animals. And my host dad, he says one day, "Matt, you want to go to the market?" And I don't really know what's happening. So I said, "Okay, yeah, fine." And he takes me to this. I live in a city, but just outside the city, there's this animal market, which is something we didn't have back home. We had farmers markets, but it was for goods or vegetables or things farmers have made. But we didn't have an animal market. So we get there, and people are auctioning off these animals, and they're selling specifically rams to the practicing Muslims who are going to sacrifice them for Bajram. So my host takes me all through this market, shows me, because he comes from a village, he comes from a kind of a rural background. He said, "Oh, this is a good ram, this is a good deal." He's got so many friends, and he's very popular in this place. So he's introducing me to all these different people, all these farmers that he's known from his childhood and from his life, meanwhile he's teaching me about Muslim traditions, the Muslim holiday. The connotations of the rituals, that kind of stuff. He shows me how to milk a cow. He shows me, what a healthy ram is. He lays out the criteria for what kind of ram you have to sacrifice. Like, it's got to be, you can't be blind or can't have a broken leg or something like that. We did not actually sacrifice a ram. But a lot of people did. He showed me how that process was undertaken.
Yeah.
That's what I got.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, sure thing.